Have you ever been disrespected and felt the rush of anger, that immediate urge to react and defend yourself? What if I told you that reacting in those moments only makes you lose control? Stoicism teaches us that true power lies not in reacting, but in controlling our responses. In today's world, people often react impulsively, but the Stoics believed in the power of silence and self-control. They understood that staying calm and composed in the face of disrespect allows you to maintain your peace and dignity. By not reacting, you keep your power intact. In this video, we'll explore 7 things you should never do when someone disrespects you. These Stoic principles will guide you to rise above negativity, stay in control, and keep your peace. Are you ready to stop reacting emotionally and start mastering your inner strength? Let's dive into these powerful Stoic lessons. Part 1. Silence is a powerful weapon. When someone disrespects you, the natural response is to fight back. It's human to want to defend yourself, to react, to prove your worth. In those moments, anger flares up, and you feel as if your dignity is under attack. But what if, instead of giving in to that impulse, you chose to stay silent? What if silence became your weapon, not your weakness? The world teaches us that reaction is a form of strength, but the Stoics would argue that the true strength lies in mastering your response. When someone disrespects you, your immediate reaction is often to fight back, whether with words, with gestures, or even with emotions. But in doing so, you let them control your actions and emotions. You surrender your inner peace to them. By choosing silence, however, you take back that power. In the stillness, you stand unshaken. You refuse to let the world push you into a reaction. You remain anchored, like a tree with deep roots in the storm. No matter how strong the winds blow, you stand tall, unaffected. Silence, in this sense, doesn't mean weakness. It's a conscious choice to remain firm and calm, to not let their actions dictate your emotional state. Let me tell you, silence can be more powerful than any retort you could give. It forces the other person to confront their own behavior. Have you ever noticed how when you don't engage with someone trying to provoke you, they become uncomfortable? They are looking for a reaction. They expect you to argue, to fight, to defend yourself. But when you don't give them that, they are forced to look at themselves, at their own behavior. And often, it's that uncomfortable silence that makes them realize they've crossed a line. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." By remaining silent, you're not just avoiding conflict, you're choosing not to mirror their behavior. You're deciding to keep your integrity intact while refusing to be dragged into their drama. In silence, you maintain your dignity. You preserve your peace. You don't let their disrespect define who you are. Imagine a situation at work where a colleague dismisses your ideas or undermines you in front of others. The urge to defend yourself, to explain, to react in anger, may seem strong, but instead, imagine taking a deep breath and remaining silent. Not because you're afraid, but because you know that reacting will only make the situation worse. By staying silent, you show that their words don't have the power to shake you. You stand strong, anchored in your own sense of self-worth. The true power of silence is that it reveals strength, not submission. It shows the world that your sense of self is not dependent on external validation or the approval of others. You don't need to argue or explain to prove your worth. You're already enough. Silence also offers you a moment of clarity. When we react out of anger or frustration, we are often driven by our emotions, not by reason. But silence gives you the space to pause, to reflect, and to choose your response thoughtfully. Instead of reacting in the heat of the moment, you can respond with purpose. You can decide, how do I want to show up in this situation? Do I want to mirror their disrespect? Or do I want to rise above it? As in those moments of silence, you also regain control over your emotions. The Stoics believed that while we can't control what happens to us, we can always control how we respond. The next time you face disrespect, instead of rushing to defend yourself, take a moment to pause. Breathe, reflect, and respond with intention. You may be wondering, but what if they continue to disrespect me? Well, remember this: silence doesn't mean acceptance. It's not about letting people walk over you. It's about choosing to protect your peace. And sometimes, the best way to protect your peace is by not engaging with negativity. By not reacting, you avoid getting caught in the cycle of emotional turmoil. So, what's the takeaway? When someone disrespects you, your silence is your strength. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a powerful choice to maintain your peace, to hold your ground, and to rise above the situation. The next time you're faced with disrespect, remember, silence is a weapon that only the strong know how to wield. Part 2. Stop explaining yourself. Have you ever found yourself caught in a cycle of over-explaining, justifying your decisions to others who never really seem to understand? It's a common response, especially when we feel attacked or misunderstood. We want to make sure the other person knows that we are right or that we didn't mean to offend. We try to rationalize our choices, hoping that once we explain, everything will fall into place. But here's the truth that Stoicism teaches us. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Think about it. Every time you over-explain yourself, you're giving away your power. You're allowing others to dictate the terms of your self-worth based on their approval or understanding of your choices. This can drain your energy and weaken your resolve. By explaining yourself too much, you're essentially saying that their judgment matters more than your own peace and confidence. Imagine being in a situation where you've made a decision. Maybe it's something personal or professional, and someone questions you. Instead of standing firm in your decision, you begin to justify it, provide details, and lay out every reason why you did what you did. But even after all that, they still don't understand. And suddenly, you find yourself tangled in a web of words, seeking validation and feeling more and more frustrated. This is where Stoic wisdom can change everything. The Stoics understood that true strength lies in being unwavering in your own decisions, regardless of others' opinions. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Don't explain your philosophy, live it." You don't need to defend yourself. Your actions, your choices, and your life speak for themselves. The Stoics didn't waste their time trying to convince others of their worth. They lived their principles, and their actions became their explanation. Think about someone you admire, a person who commands respect. Do they spend their time justifying their decisions? No, they don't. Instead, they lead by example. They show the world who they are, not through words, but through their actions. This is what makes them powerful. You too can adopt this approach. When you stop explaining yourself, you stop seeking validation from others. You begin to show, through your actions and your inner strength, who you truly are. You become a living example of your beliefs and your values. But why do we feel the need to explain ourselves so much? It's because, deep down, we fear judgment. We fear rejection, that we want to be accepted, understood, and validated. But here's the thing. Seeking approval from others is a never-ending cycle that only weakens you. The Stoics knew that the only validation worth seeking is the one from within. When you stop explaining yourself, you take back your power. You stop waiting for others to accept you or approve of your choices. You stop relying on external validation to feel good about yourself. Instead, you anchor your sense of worth in your own actions, your integrity, and your principles. When you make decisions, you do so because they align with your values, not because you need to justify them to anyone else. Let's put this into practice. The next time you feel the urge to explain your choices, pause for a moment, take a deep breath and ask yourself, Do I need to justify my decision to this person? Or can I stand firm in it without needing anyone else's approval? The answer is clear. You don't need to explain yourself. You simply need to live in alignment with your values. In those moments, remind yourself you're not a puppet to be pulled by the strings of others' judgments. You are the master of your own life, and your actions speak louder than any explanation ever could. Part 3. Don't get into pointless arguments. Have you ever found yourself in a heated argument, only to realize that you're not really getting anywhere? The words are being exchanged, emotions are running high, but in the end, nothing changes. You don't feel understood, and neither do they. In fact, it often feels like you're stuck in a cycle that only deepens the tension. This is the trap that Stoicism warns us about. Engaging in pointless arguments is a waste of energy and time. When someone disrespects you, the impulse to defend yourself, to prove your point, or to set the record straight can feel overwhelming. We all have that instinct to be heard, to make sure others understand our perspective. But here's the reality. Arguing with someone who isn't open to hearing you is like trying to fill a cup that's already full. And no matter how much you pour, it won't make a difference. They aren't listening to you, they're only waiting to respond. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in knowing when to walk away. Arguing with someone who disrespects you only gives them more power over your emotional state. They want you to react, to rise to the bait, to get pulled into their drama. When you engage, you are surrendering control. And you know what happens when you lose control. You give them a piece of your peace. This is where the wisdom of Epictetus comes in. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When someone disrespects you, it's not their words that should define your worth, it's your response. Choosing not to engage in an argument is not about being passive or submissive. It's about recognizing that your peace is more important than being right. It's about choosing to rise above the situation, to not let their negativity impact your emotional state. Think about a time when you found yourself in a pointless argument. Perhaps it was a disagreement with a colleague, a family member, or even a stranger. The back and forth escalated, and the more you spoke, the more entrenched both sides became. The argument went nowhere, and the only result was more frustration and anger. In that moment, what would have happened if you had simply chosen silence instead? Choosing not to engage doesn't mean you are avoiding the issue. It means you are addressing the issue in a more powerful way, by not letting the other person's behavior dictate how you feel. When you stop arguing, you stop feeding their need for attention or validation. You regain control over your emotions and your response, and you shift the focus back to what truly matters: your inner peace. This doesn't mean you never stand up for yourself. Stoicism is not about allowing people to walk all over you. It's about knowing when and how to respond in a way that maintains your integrity. There are moments when silence is the most powerful response, and there are other moments when you may need to set a boundary. But in all situations, Stoicism teaches us to choose our battles wisely. Instead of getting dragged into a back and forth, pause and ask yourself, is this conversation worth my time? If the answer is no, then don't engage. Walk away. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. You don't need to argue to be seen or heard. You are already enough, just as you are. By mastering the art of disengaging from pointless arguments, you regain your power. You stop letting others control your emotions. You stop giving away your energy to people who aren't open to understanding you. And most importantly, you reclaim your peace. So, the next time you're faced with an argument that you know won't lead anywhere, remember, your silence is not a sign of weakness, but a reflection of your strength. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Your actions, your calm, and your dignity speak louder than words ever could. Part 4. Keep your distance from negative people. Have you ever found yourself surrounded by negativity? whether it's from people who constantly criticize you, drain your energy, or bring you down with their toxic behaviors. It's a heavy feeling, isn't it? You feel like your spirit is weighed down, and no matter how hard you try, their negativity sticks to you. It's like trying to walk forward while someone is constantly pulling you back. The Stoics understood that one of the most powerful ways to protect your peace is by distancing yourself from negative people. It's easy to get caught in the trap of trying to fix everyone around us. We want to help, to uplift, to offer advice, especially to those who seem lost in negativity. But here's the hard truth. You can't change someone who doesn't want to change. And all you can do is protect your own energy and guard your peace. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control others' behavior, but we can control who we let into our lives. Seneca wisely said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." But when we allow toxic people to stay in our lives, we create real suffering. Their negativity doesn't just affect their mood, it infects ours too. Every time you interact with someone who is constantly bringing you down, you're allowing their emotional state to influence yours. And slowly, your energy, your peace, your joy begin to slip away. Think about a relationship where you felt drained. Maybe it's a friend who constantly complains about everything, or a family member who always seems to criticize your decisions. After every conversation, you feel exhausted and unsettled. So this is the power of negativity in action. Negative people thrive on drama, on stirring conflict, and on dragging you into their world of complaints and dissatisfaction. When you stay in that energy, you become a part of that cycle. But here's the Stoic truth. You don't owe anyone your energy. You have the right to protect your peace and step away from relationships that are harmful to your mental and emotional well-being. In fact, it's an act of self-respect and self-love to walk away from negativity. By keeping your distance, you're choosing yourself, your peace, and your growth. This doesn't mean you have to cut people out of your life permanently or in an aggressive way. It's not about rejecting them outright. It's about creating healthy boundaries. You decide how much energy you give to others and how much you protect for yourself. So think about it. Just like a garden needs to be protected from weeds, your inner peace needs to be shielded from negative influences. The next time you feel emotionally drained by someone, take a step back and evaluate the situation. Ask yourself, does this person uplift me or drain me? Is this relationship helping me grow or is it holding me back? If the answer is the latter, then it's time to set some boundaries. You don't have to engage with every negative comment, every toxic person, or every emotional drain. It's okay to say no. It's okay to step away. When you start choosing your peace over toxic relationships, something amazing happens. You begin to attract the energy you want in your life. As you distance yourself from negativity, you open up space for positive, supportive, and empowering people to enter. As you become more aligned with your true self, and the people who truly respect and care for you will naturally find their way into your life. So, remember, it's not selfish to protect your peace, it's necessary. You have the right to choose who you allow in your life and who you choose to distance yourself from. And every time you set a boundary, you're strengthening your inner peace, your confidence, and your sense of self-worth. Part 5. Hold your head high and keep your self-respect. Have you ever been disrespected to the point where you felt small, unworthy, or powerless? In those moments, it's easy to feel like everything about you is being challenged, your values, your worth, your integrity. But here's the hard truth. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. The Stoics knew this better than anyone. When you let someone's disrespect affect your self-esteem, you surrender your power. But when you choose to hold your head high, you maintain your dignity and self-respect, no matter what they do. It's all too easy to get caught up in someone else's narrative. When someone belittles you, criticizes you, or treats you as less than, the natural response is to fight back. But what if I told you that the strongest response is not to react, but to stay grounded, maintain your posture, and refuse to let their behavior define you? Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The way you perceive yourself, the way you think about your value, is far more important than how others see you. Your self-worth should never be based on someone else's opinion or actions. When you allow disrespect to make you feel small, you're handing over the keys to your own self-esteem. But when you hold your head high, you keep control over your own narrative. Picture this. You're in a situation where someone disrespects you in front of a group. Maybe it's a colleague, a friend, or even a family member. The urge to defend yourself is overwhelming. You want to stand up, speak out, and prove them wrong. But instead, you choose to stand tall, look them in the eye, and remain calm. You don't need to say anything to prove your worth because your dignity is already radiating through your calmness and self-respect. This doesn't mean you need to be arrogant or stoic in the sense of being emotionless. It's about showing yourself that no one, no matter how disrespectful, has the power to shake your foundation. You are the one who gets to decide how you feel, and you get to decide that your self-worth is not dependent on anyone else's opinion. Think of Seneca, who faced ridicule and mockery throughout his life. Despite the challenges, he chose to hold his head high. He chose to live by his values and his principles, regardless of how others treated him. His self-respect wasn't tied to external validation. It was rooted in his belief in his own integrity. Now, imagine doing the same. What would it feel like to walk through life knowing that your worth is not negotiable? What if you didn't need to defend yourself anymore? What if you could simply stand tall, keep your peace, and let your actions speak for themselves? When you hold your head high, you choose not to let the opinions of others lower your worth. Instead of shrinking or apologizing for who you are, you remain steadfast. You create a presence that commands respect, not because you demand it, but because you've already claimed it for yourself. Self-respect isn't given to you by others. It's something you choose to cultivate and protect every single day. So, the next time someone disrespects you, remember this. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to lower yourself to their level. Instead, stand tall, maintain your dignity, and let your actions reflect the strength of your character. You are worthy of respect simply because you choose to respect yourself. Part 6. Don't let anger control. Have you ever found yourself consumed by anger when someone disrespects you? It's as if the emotion takes over, and before you know it, you're reacting in ways that don't align with who you truly are. The heart races, the words spill out, and in the heat of the moment, it feels like you've lost all control. But here's the hard truth. Letting anger control you only weakens you. In those moments, anger becomes a powerful force that can drive you to say and do things that, in hindsight, you may deeply regret. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can always control our response. The anger we feel when disrespected is a natural emotional response. But it's important to recognize that anger, if unchecked, only serves to hurt ourselves. And the Stoics didn't deny their emotions. They simply chose not to be slaves to them. By recognizing that we have the power to control how we respond, we begin to regain mastery over our emotions. Imagine a situation where someone disrespects you and your initial reaction is pure fury. It's a punch to the gut. Maybe they insult you, belittle your ideas, or disregard your value. The first instinct is to snap back, to fight fire with fire, to let them know exactly how you feel. But ask yourself, does this reaction truly serve you? What happens when you let anger take control? Often, we end up saying things we don't mean, actions we regret, and creating even more conflict. Instead of leaving the situation with a sense of peace, we walk away drained, emotionally wrecked, and perhaps even less powerful than before. And anger never leaves us stronger. It always leaves us weaker in both body and mind. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius, in his Reflections, said, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it." It's not the disrespect or the insult that causes the real damage. It's how we respond to it. Anger clouds our judgment, hijacks our ability to think clearly, and brings us into a state of emotional turbulence. But when we choose to pause, breathe, and respond with calm, we maintain control over ourselves. We choose to act, not react. Here's the powerful part. When you choose to control your anger, you take away the power that others have over you. In a world that thrives on provocation and emotional reactions, your calmness is your greatest form of resistance. It's a refusal to be pushed around by external forces, a declaration that you are in charge of your own emotional state, not anyone else. Think about the last time you felt disrespected. How did you react? Did you feel your anger rise, only to later feel ashamed or exhausted by the outburst? The Stoics would say that the moment you feel anger stirring within you is the moment to practice pause. Take a breath, step back, and remember that you are in control of how you respond. When anger tries to take over, pause for a moment. Breathe, reflect, and ask yourself, is this reaction serving my greater good? Is this the person I want to be in this situation? In those few seconds of reflection, you will often find that the anger loses its grip on you. You realize that reacting with anger only fuels the fire. It doesn't put it out. Instead, you choose to respond with dignity. Choose to maintain your inner peace, because when you don't let anger control you, you reclaim your power. You stop giving away your emotional energy to people who don't deserve it. You don't need to react to every slight, every insult, or every provocation. You are the master of your emotions, and with that mastery comes true strength. So the next time someone disrespects you, remember this. Don't let anger control you. Pause, breathe, and choose the response that aligns with your values, not your impulses. In those moments, you'll not only preserve your peace, but you'll also emerge as the stronger, more self-controlled person you are meant to be. Part 7. Maintain boundaries and protect your energy. Have you ever felt drained after spending time with someone who constantly disrespects you, even subtly? Maybe it's the friend who always makes cutting remarks, or the colleague who pushes your limits, testing your patience. Over time, their negativity begins to seep into your own life, and before you know it, you're feeling exhausted, frustrated, and overwhelmed. The truth is, you have the power to protect your energy by setting clear boundaries with people who do not respect you. Setting boundaries is not about being rude or distant. It's about taking control of your emotional well-being. The Stoics understood that we cannot control what others do, but we can control how much of ourselves we give to them. By protecting our energy, we prevent others from draining us, and we create space for the people and things that truly matter in our lives. Think of boundaries like the walls of a fortress. They aren't there to shut people out entirely, but to protect what is most valuable within: your inner peace, your mental clarity, and your sense of self. When you set boundaries, you're not just telling others what you will or won't tolerate. You're telling yourself that you deserve respect. You're showing that your well-being is non-negotiable. The difficulty with boundaries, though, is that often we fear that they'll push people away or make us seem cold or distant. But here's the reality. People who respect your boundaries will respect you even more. People who do not respect your boundaries were never truly aligned with your peace to begin with. By allowing others to cross your boundaries, you allow them to disrespect you over and over again, and that cycle only drains your energy. When you maintain your boundaries, you're standing firm in your values. It's not always easy, especially when the people in your life push back or test you. But here's the thing. You don't need to justify your boundaries to anyone. They are yours to set, and the more you honor them, the stronger you become. It's not about being harsh. It's about being honest with yourself and with others about what you need to feel safe, respected, and at peace. In those moments when someone pushes against your boundaries, take a deep breath. Remember, you are not obligated to tolerate behavior that diminishes your sense of self-worth. You have the right to say no, to walk away, to disengage when necessary. And each time you do, you're not only protecting your energy, you're reclaiming your power. Start today by identifying one relationship or situation in your life where your boundaries need strengthening. Perhaps it's a friend who constantly makes you feel small, or a colleague who takes advantage of your kindness. Whatever it is, take a stand. Set the boundary, hold it, and protect your peace. Your energy is precious, and it's your responsibility to safeguard it. You are worthy of relationships that uplift and empower you. So protect your energy, honor your boundaries, and watch as your life begins to shift toward more peace and fulfillment. Today, we've explored 7 powerful lessons from Stoic philosophy on how to handle disrespect with strength, dignity, and composure. We learned that silence is not weakness, but a powerful tool to maintain control, that you don't owe anyone an explanation for your actions, and how setting boundaries protects your peace and energy. By mastering these Stoic principles, you can stop reacting emotionally and start leading with inner strength. But the real work begins now. Start applying these lessons in your life today. The next time someone disrespects you, choose silence over anger, confidence over explanations, and boundaries over exhaustion. By practicing this, you'll find yourself not only protecting your peace, but also growing stronger and more resilient each day. Thank you for reading. I hope these Stoic principles will inspire you to live with more self-respect and inner strength. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and share. And be sure to subscribe for more empowering content. See you in the next video, where we continue to explore the Stoic path to a powerful life.